Welcome to Conversation with a Conjuror. With us today is Adam Casper. I'm Daniel Rivington. This is Alex Johnson. Let's get to it. Adam Casper is a magician, mentalist, videographer, YouTuber, photographer, cinematographer. Is there anything I've missed out, or should I keep going?
Macaulay Culkin lookalike.
He's in a double act called In Two Minds.
See, this is why I just go with Casper. I just go with Casper. But to be fair, I don't actually like my first name, and I haven't for years. So for me, it's like I try and get people towards using my middle name of Casper and just stick with that.
Oh, is that your middle name? Your last name's England?
My last name's England, yeah.
Fair play. But I mean, just for anybody who doesn't know, it's we had a guy on before called Adam Casper, and he's in a double act called In Two Minds. So that was the joke I made there. So thanks for coming on.
They're an absolute incredible double act, and me and Pete shot their show reel together, and then I edited it together. It was absolutely insane. I loved that show reel.
Great guys, great magicians, and it was great to have them on, both for their insight on working as a double team, as Pete calls it.
We'll leave that one there.
So the first question I have for you is, why do you take Kyle to rubbish bars in Bradford?
When you said Kyle has sent you a message, I knew that's where that were going. I knew it. It was a proper dive bar, but it's usually really good bar. However, it was middle of the month. It was quiet. We'll leave that there.
Okay.
Gasworks.
No, Candy.
Am I close? Am I thinking about the same type of thing?
No, Candy in Bradford.
Candy. Yeah, I wanted to take him to Candy.
And then I took him. Then I actually took him to a bar, which is even funnier, called Trash, which is a rock bar, which was actually quite good, but him and Don didn't seem to think so.
It's a good night out in Bradford. I like it.
I'm hit and miss with it. I mean, it's one of those where it can be amazing, it can be absolute dog, or it can be just an average night. For me, I'm a Leeds lad, so Leeds is my night out. That's where I love, but it's just distance some of the time, and it's like you get there and then you've got to think about getting a taxi home, and the money starts racking up, and you're just thinking, I'll just stay at home.
Yeah, that's it's pretty much a world apart for me. So everything you guys are talking about, I'm like, okay, I'll just take your word for it.
Are you from Guiseley, Adam?
Yeah, Guiseley, Yeadon area,
yeah. Posh bit.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I'm from the posh bit of Armley.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, Armley, posh.
The posh part of Armley. Yeah. So one thing I've noticed with you is on social media you're really supportive of other magicians, and not just magicians, businesses on Facebook as well. Other than being a great dude, what's behind that?
So I've suffered with depression since I was 8-year-old. I've had, and I still have, a lot of negative thoughts. And for me, I'm in that mindset of positive attitude breeds positivity, and it helps you boost your mentality and feel happier. And a lot of the people that you see me commenting on and supporting, I genuinely feel like they deserve the support and comments. But it's also a case of, I want to put out as much support and happiness and positivity as I can, because especially in times like now, where the world is fucked up, not to say that to say it politely, we need positivity and inspiration and happiness, and actually try and get that out in people. So I've always said, even from a young age, if I can make one person a day smile, I can be a happy man. And I've always said that I'd rather forget if I die tomorrow, if people remember me for being a magician, cinematographer, a creator, consultant, whatever, great. But all I really want people to remember me as is being a nice guy. That's it.
And also, you never really do know like how many people and who all actually might be looking up to you.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, there's not much more to be said that way, because you never know who's actually going to be heeding what you say or listening to what you say, and just if you put something out negative and they take that on board, and then you're effectively the result of them feeling bad, and they do something that unspeakable, then you're the dick. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather, do you know what I mean? I know it's a really polite way of saying it, but effectively, I don't want to be the cause of somebody else's pain.
So it's
I mean, it sounds good. I like it.
You're throwing out some good karma. You're hoping a little bit comes back, and and hoping it'll brighten up someone's day. That's brilliant.
What is that old saying? You reap what you sow.
Dunwells. I saw you share the Dunwells. They're local lads from around here. Do they perform up near you?
So I went to school with Joe Dunwell, the main singer, and so they do perform up near me. But it's more of a case of when I found out that Joe and his brother. So I met his brother Dave later on in life when I was running pubs and bars, and I had the band De Silva come play at the pub. I got to know him, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Dave Dunwell, blah blah blah." I didn't put two and two together and think Joe Dunwell, Dave Dunwell. It wasn't until years down the line when they formed the band that they then asked if they could come and play at the bar that I was running, and they're like, "How do you?" The Dunwells. It made sense and it clicked, but they're such an amazing band, and I love supporting them. And especially, I'm surprised at how little people know of them, if that makes sense. And
I know their younger brother, Matt Dunwell.
Yeah, I've been sharing Matt's streams as well. I've been watching all Matt's streams.
I've not seen what has been putting out recently. I was mates with a couple of the other guys in a band that he was in. I think City of Lights. Yeah.
Good band.
And when I was 14, Ash and Sean from City of Lights.
Yeah.
Their gig, they're in a band called Union Jackass, and that was my first ever gig that I went to, and it's like one of the best memories I've got. So me and all my mates from school were all going mental, and we knew all the words and that. They had a bit of a cult following with us little nerdy kids, and
they still have quite City of Lights and Union Jackass still have quite a decent following. For Matt's birthday this year, we were doing a live stream, and he got all the City of Lights lads back on it, and he had me go and perform on there as well. So there was the City of Lights lot and me on the stream, and it was just such a good laugh.
You were doing mentalism, or
there was I was doing mentalism, so it was odd bits in between like sets and them talking and stuff. They pulled me in for little bits, and I messed up 2 effects, but then I pulled it back with the big effect at the end. I'm not gonna lie, I was actually drunk. I was really drunk. I was surprised that I pulled off what I did. But yeah, it was a good laugh. But yeah.
Fantastic.
So do you care to kind of tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel and what you're wanting to do with getting started with that?
Yeah. So I mean, I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel, like always, more for the sake of trying to put out my knowledge and try and help. If anything that I do can help anybody either better or help their career in any way, shape or form, then I've done what I wanted to do. For now, I mean, I want to do the odd performance here and there, but it's predominantly going to be based on photography and cinematography, really, and sort of working behind the scenes and a lot of being a consultant. It's going to be some of the stuff that I've learned from doing these things and like performance. There'll be odd tips and stuff for magicians and mentalists, but it's predominantly going to be photography and cinematography.
Understand you said you're having a new intro made. You don't like your current one, or you just wanted to upgrade, or what?
Yeah, so the song I love the song. But
I think it's a dope intro though, man. I love it.
It's going to be along the same sort of lines as the new one, but I basically got this kid who he works a lot on like After Effects, and he wanted something to do, and obviously in lockdown, I said, yeah, go on, make the intro. So he did it, sent it to me, and it was great. I didn't have a lot of time to sort of put my own one together, but now I'm sort of in between filming stuff, editing, consultations, and then working on my own website, and then I'm finally finding a bit more time to actually do the intro for myself.
Can you actually use After Effects pretty good, or what? Really?
I'm okay. I'm not the best. It's not something that I've spent a lot of time using.
Yeah.
But I know enough to sort of get by and add things and do things. But I basically had to start again with all my equipment. So I'm on an old MacBook. Okay. And when I say old, I think it's 2012. So the processor in it for rendering, and it's lagging. It like proper lags. So I need to.
Editing 4K MacBook. Video would be difficult then, huh?
Well, that's what I did. So I shoot in 4K, and then compress it down to 1080p. But it's like just because you get that smoother and it's a lot better quality. But it's lagging like hell. So I'm having to keep going back.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass trying to edit 4K, and it's not, it's too laggy and choppy.
Absolutely.
But, what about what's your camera setup like? I know you have a lot of lights and everything. What else do you use for your filming?
So I've got a Lumix GH5. I've got a Metabone speed booster on there, so I'm using Canon lenses.
Yeah.
I've got a 24 105 lens, the Uzum 2 lens, and then I've just got a Rode lapel mic, the Filmmaker's kit. I'm keeping it simple at the moment because it's I don't need much more than that for what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. But as things progress, I mean, I've got 2 tripods. One's like a really strong, heavy bastard. Mm-hmm. And then the other one's just a flimsy, just throw it about. It does whatever. I don't care if it breaks or whatever.
I've asked Pete this, and I've asked Nathan this. What's happening with 13 Souls?
So there's been a bit of a restructure going off. Because outside of the 13 Souls got really busy for me, I've taken a step back. So for me, it's more of a case of I'm just there to be like an artist, as it were. So I'm putting out my content through there. I'll also still be there to film other people, do the trailers and stuff. But that's where my start and ends with it. I don't have a lot of time to get involved with it through outside of it, to be honest.
You've worked doing video for Pete and 13 Souls. You've worked doing it for Illusionist. Do you have any aspirations to work for any particular companies, or are you wanting to focus more on your own stuff at the moment, or in the near future?
I'll work with pretty much anybody. Like literally, for me, that's what I love about our industry in particular, is that you can work with so many different people and get to experience so many different things. And for me, if I hadn't have done photography and cinematography, I probably would never have really met Pete. And I've met so many cool and interesting people through this that I will work for any company. Obviously, that's what it is. That's what it is for me. It's more about the people. I get to meet interesting people, and I get to create art that I enjoy, and that's why I do it.
So we've been asking a common theme about mentors in your magic learning. Who has been your, not necessarily just one person, but which people have been your best or mentors to you?
Pete was obviously probably the biggest one for me because I love magic, and I wish that I could perform more magic, but my hands. So I used to do a lot of taekwondo, basketball, and rugby, and my fingers are knackered. So I like all my tendons are stripped. So I actually got stabbed in my hand, and it ripped a couple of the tendons out. So I can't perform a lot of the sleights that I wish that I could. So for me, meeting Pete meant that he really drove me into mentalism more, which meant that I could still do what I love. And for me, he's probably been the biggest influence on it. And a lot of people say, why you like Pete, you act like Pete. And he's been I may have a few things that a few of his mannerisms and a few other aspects of the way that he performs, but
hold up a second.
been a big part.
You can't just casually say, yeah, I got stabbed in the hand, and then go on. Like, dude, how did you get stabbed in the hand?
I was actually running a pub in Armley, funny enough,
Hey!
a long time ago. And basically this guy came in and he'd just been released from prison. And obviously there's a prison quite close to there. And he was like, I want a pint. And I went, if you ask me nicely, I'll get you a pint. He went, no, you won't give me a pint now. I was like, ask me nicely, I'll get you a pint. And then that was it. He jumped over the bar. As he jumped over, he pulled the knife out. But thankfully, the locals in there were quite friendly with me. They liked me and what have you. So they grabbed a hold of him, pulled him off before it could get any serious. It wasn't even that big. It was only like down there.
Is that why your pinky jumps?
Yeah, it ripped the tendon. Yeah, it ripped the tendon out there. So when they've attached it back, it's really tight. So it just locks and pops.
So you're still pretty fortunate to be able to, have a pinky.
Oh, massively.
Yeah, wow.
Massively. And to have the grip that I've got, it took a while to build the grip back. And yeah.
Hey, but at least it's a good story, at least,
I suppose. For me,
could be like one of those silver linings things where you find out that it actually helped you in the long run, like Pete with his slamming the fingers in the door and that
made you move into mentalism more. So
exactly.
Now, with consultation, how have people approached you with the consultation stuff?
So a lot of it has been referrals. The very first one that I did was on the back of working with Pete. So he worked on a TV show, and basically everything that I've done in the past, apart from up until recently, I've signed NDAs. And there's two reasons for that. Firstly, when I first started doing it, I didn't think that I'd be able to do it. So I thought, if I sign an NDA, then if it's shit, it'll go no further and nobody will ever know that I've done it. But there's also the second part is that if it's good, then it's exclusive. And nobody knows other than the people that are involved that it's from me. So it almost feels more of an exclusive, more of a private deal, as it were. So, but then if like there's other magicians talking to each other and say, oh, I'm looking for a consultant to help me with this show or whatever, or these producers that know of me, they'll pass information. So it's all been like word of mouth, really.
You released a couple of products with 13 Souls. How was that process like? You just sort of said, oh, here's a trick, should we stick it on, or was it more of a formal type of thing?
Well, so originally I started coming up with that idea with the hype effect when Pete was still with the 13 Souls. So we back and forth until I felt that it was right. I mean, at the time, Pete he'd have just let me do whatever anyway, but I wanted to sort of really fine tune it. I mean, one of the effects came up with me and Pete both came up with we sort of come up with a few concepts for it in Blackpool last year. And then the other one, the Taste Sensation, that was something that I performed for a lot of years. So even like when I used to work abroad and stuff, and it's just progressed over time, really. But then it was a case of when it came to actually filming it, Pete was in the process of moving to Illusionist. So I literally filmed everything on my own. Like literally, so even the trailer, apart from one aspect, well, the trailer was actually done by Chris Jones. He filmed most of it, and then I edited it together. But the actual main bulk of it, the performances and everything else, was all done from me and the tripod. That was it.
Cool.
Very difficult getting up and then back down, and then and because I like at the time I was using for that product, I actually just used a Canon 7D, so there's no flip out screen or anything. I didn't have a monitor, and the autofocus wasn't working, so I had to get up, start recording, film something, go back up, check the screen, check the playback, see if it was in focus, and I had to keep tweaking it until it was in focus. I think it took me about half an hour just to get the focus right on that.
Do you get a lot of money from doing stuff like that, or is it more of just a passion project?
The hype or consultations or
just releasing products.
It varies. I mean, so I've actually released a lot of products in the past under a different name. Again, sometimes it was to do with like the NDA that I signed, so I couldn't actually release anything because my name wasn't allowed to be attached. I wasn't allowed to give out. So, or the other one was because, like I said, I wasn't confident in myself and thinking, oh, people are just going to think it's not good and this and the other. So I don't want people to know it's me, and so I never really released anything in my name. So there's a lot of products out there that, again, I signed NDAs that I've done, and I got it depends. Some of the products did amazingly well, got a decent return on it. Some of them did absolute dog shit, and I got maybe 50 quid, 100 quid. But it's experience as well. So even if those shit ones were actually quite good for me because it was a learning experience, even though it didn't do anything and it was effectively released a bad product, it was still a learning experience for me, and I won't do that again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, go down the same path and make the same mistakes, type of thing.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have an end goal for your videography, cinematography? Would you like to eventually move into maybe making movies or anything?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to do something like that. So today I've actually been approached by somebody to do almost like an inspirational video. And we're going down the route of like a narrator and doing proper cinematic shots. There's going to be no talking to camera, so it's going to be effectively like a movie, a short form movie. And I've never been as excited about projects, especially in this time, because it's almost to do with like the Black Lives Matter as well. It's to do with like equality and being all inclusive and this. And for me, like you guys know, I like to spread positivity. So for this helps. And it was on about paying and stuff, and I was just, I've not even actually mentioned this to him yet because I didn't want it to come across as like, I don't know how to explain it, but basically I'm going to say whatever you're going to pay me, rather than actually pay me it, I want you to donate it to a Black Lives Matter charity or some form of, make that, whatever you were going to give me. I don't want to know what the fee is, just whatever the money is, just give that to charity, because I'm not doing it to be paid, I'm doing it to be part of something bigger. And that's why I get a lot of messages saying why haven't you like put a video on YouTube about like try to better this and that, because I've not found the right way of expressing it, and to, I could get on YouTube and put a video out there saying I'm white, I've got white privilege, I am the highest class of privilege, and this, that, and the other, but it might not mean anything or anything like that. I wanted the right moment to actually do this, if that makes sense, and actually get the right words to say or the right visuals to actually make an impact on it.
How would somebody watch this, whenever it's finished?
So I'm going to do like a behind the scenes of it all, and like a vlog style thing, and make it like a small movie of it myself.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then, but I will be sharing it on all my social medias because it means a lot to me, and especially with it being a friend of mine as well, who's approached me for it, and
coming to a social media platform near you. So if you need a narrator, mate.
We might actually need one, to be fair.
I've actually done a bit of voice acting, but that's beside the point. Now, hang on a sec.
I'm actually interested in that voice acting, though, to be fair, mate.
You what, sorry?
I'm interested in the voice acting. I'm interested in hearing more about it.
Oh, yeah. I'll speak to you about it afterwards. This is your interview, mate.
You notice I try to deflect that?
Yeah.
Sorry, just grabbing the notebook up.
So you mentioned. I was going to ask.
Different notebook.
I was going to ask. You kind of said that earlier before we started that you did a lecture in Hong Kong, and I was kind of surprised to hear that. Where all have you traveled around the world to lecture at?
So that's probably been the most interesting place for me. I've done odd. I got to spend near enough a full week there, which was incredible. But I've done lots of little places around Europe. I want to actually travel more. Once this is all lifted and we're clear and we're able to do it properly and safely, then I'd love to travel more. It's like the States is somewhere that I want to do like a proper lecture tour and do like a proper, or even just go and just do just for the fun and film and do bits. Do you know what I mean? I want to travel. How
would someone go about even trying to do a lecture tour? Like, would you just, how would you even approach different venues about it? Would it be something that you might try to set up yourself, or?
So I was actually, before Pete went to Illusionist, I was actually trying to set one up for him. Basically, it's just finding magicians that you mentalists that you know in each city, and asking them who the best contact would be, and then just working it out from there. I know that in the UK, for these Troy and Anthony, they do like they actually do like arrange a lot of the UK lecture tours, and they speak to all the other sort of the Magic Circle groups and sort of arrange for them to travel. They arrange travel, hotels, and everything. So there are people out there that would arrange all that. But yeah,
the guys at Bradford Magic Circle do like that as well.
Yeah, well, that's Anthony and Troy are actually members there, I think.
Oh, right. I don't know the names really. I've just been privy to the conversations when they've been talking about they're Greg Wilson and Sean Farquhar and heaps of these huge names.
Well, they've had Eric Jones there, and that was how I met Eric Jones. That was the second time I met Eric Jones, and I spent a lot. I was actually quite thankful I got to spend a lot of time with him, and sort of he went out with Anthony on a night out, and I picked him up from this shisha bar, and we drove around. And
I think I saw a picture on your Facebook or somewhere with you and him at that hookah bar.
It was a shisha bar in Bradford. The name of the place now, that's going to bug me. But yeah, that was quite cool. I think it was like shooting or something like that. Sam will know. I'll message Sam later and find out, and I'll get back to you.
So what's the best advice that you've ever received?
The best advice? Okay, there's two that really stick to mind. The best one is done is better than perfect. I struggle with that quite. Like, I struggle to try to get things perfect all the time because in my head I've got this vision, and I try and get it to that every single time that I'm doing something, even with performing, with photography, cinematography, everything. I'm always trying to make it perfect. It's never going to be perfect. You can get close to what
there's
the
a
vision
cool
that's
quote.
inside. Yeah.
There's a cool quote that says, "Perfection is paralysis." So if you're always striving for perfection, it's like it's never going to be done, because perfection is mostly the ability to become comfortable with compromise.
Which is our ethos. It's our total ethos in this podcast.
Do what? Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, I mean, shit. If we had to have the perfect setup before, when we first started, he was using duct tape to hold his phone up.
Yeah, I got a
can't go wrong with duct tape.
Yeah,
I've done some extremely weird filming with duct tape. Yeah. Like literally, I've used duct tape to actually stick my camera to a wall because I didn't have anything else, just to get an interesting angle.
episode 1 through 10 were filmed on my iPhone 11 Pro Max or whatever it's called, and so it's a £1,500 phone. It was on top of a stack of books with pieces of sellotape holding it in place.
Before I got my, because I've got 2 tripods now. Before I got my tripods, I used to place the camera up on the windowsill, but I used to have it stacked on books, and then I'd have decks of cards underneath the window, underneath the lens. Whatever gets the job done, just do it.
Yep.
And that's effectively what we were saying about done is better than perfect.
Yep.
If in a perfect world, you'd have had that tripod and everything, but
yeah,
just get it done.
There's so many people
What was
though,
the
that they make.
other piece of advice?
So the other piece of advice was just do it. And I know it's like that's Nike's slogan, but it was because I'm constantly sort of going, well, what if, and I overthink scenarios in my head. Like even when I'm creating effects, I'm constantly like, before I even go out and perform them, I sort of play them in my head. So I'll actually perform them in my head, and so I'll perform them like somebody here, and then I'll perform it here, and then I'll sort of play it out on what different variations or what different people will say before I even do it, and then I'll keep going over that. I'll keep cycling it. So in my head, I need to stop myself and go, just do it. Just get out and do it. And if it wasn't for Matt Dunwell, I wouldn't have actually started my YouTube channel. He was just saying, because I was like, because that first video, Who Am I? I had loads of ideas on how we were going to do it, and I was going to do this and could do that, and it had probably taken me, and I must have filmed about 60 versions of it, and I was like, no, what I should do is and he just went, no, what you should do is just stand there in front of the camera, do your bit, and get it out there. Then for your next one, think about something else, and it was like, just do it. And it was like, I should really have known that, because I'm constantly saying to myself, just do it.
Yeah. Like for me, it's like doing these interviews and having people to talk to is so much easier. But there's been so many times when I had my phone and I recorded a big thing I was wanting to put out on Instagram to talk to people directly. It's like, but then I have it, then I just delete it, So that's one of those things I need to do. It's like, if you're going to do it, just do it.
I think these live streams are good for people that, so like if you're wanting to get something out there, I found that when I try and film a message on a camera and I'm there talking, I'm like, that's not right. And I start again.
Yeah.
And I do it over and over again. But actually getting out on a live stream and doing it, you can tend to get that out, if that makes sense.
But it's like then if it's actually a legit live stream, it's like, well, you're live and you can't take it back. So, it's exactly, like that Eminem song, you got one shot, take it. Don't pass it up.
Good old Eminem.
You said that you've, battled with depression. How does that idea of just do it, kind of compare with your depression? Is it like, are you talking about depression in the sense of feeling bad and having negative thoughts about yourself, or being so depressed you can't get out of bed? Like, what do you mean?
So I've actually, and I can openly say this now, and it took me a long time to say this. I've actually tried to kill myself a couple of times. I'm not proud of that. I was in a very, very dark place. But so for me, my depression can be crippling. Some days I can just lay there, not want to get out. But I've trained myself to sort of think positively about things, and it's been a hard slog to actually get to the point where I could talk to people and to actually feel comfortable and try and push positivity out there.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about reading things positively and trying to look at things in a different way. And it's easy for me to just say that, but it's very difficult for me to do. But in the same respect of, like, if I say to somebody who's going through depression, oh, you just need to try and think of it positively, in that moment, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, you literally can't think of anything else other than what is going on. So a lot of the time, I will actually, like, one of my friends, he's got depression and he struggles on a regular basis, and I don't talk to him about his depression. I actually just try and make him laugh or make him smile or just distract him from it for that brief moment, and it switches. And then he starts to think, oh, well, I shouldn't be, I don't need to think about that. Then he talks to me about what's going on because he's in a better place to think about it and actually talk about it.
Yeah. Being able to laugh, that's the key, I think. Sometimes, you know, if I'm in a funk, you know, my buddy, you know, call me and like, he's so damn funny. Like he can make anybody laugh. But it's like, even when I'm in that mindset, I'm like, dude, like I don't even have the energy to even, you know, talk right now. But
yeah.
Who do you admire in the magic world?
It's one of those, I admire lots of people for lots of different reasons. It's hard for me to just say I admire this one person. Like this, like for instance, Tom Elderfield, I admire him because of how creative he is. Like you can literally give him any product or anything and he'll come up with an effect for it. And I admire him so much for that. I admire Ryan Tricks for the fact that he's had this vision in his head. He knows what he's wanted. He's not the best performer in the world. He's a great performer, but he's not the best. But he's determined to actually make it work. I admire him for that. Pete, I admire Pete for his mind. The fact that how quickly he can think of routines and how he switches between effects. He can, if something fucked up, he's got a backup. If that backup fails, he's got another backup. He's always got something there. There's so many different people, especially in the magic community, that I admire, that I couldn't pick just one person for any reason.
Oh yeah, it's not just necessarily one person. Just who are the people? Maybe I should rephrase it. Who are the people that you admire? But so, do you have any new releases in the pipeline? Have you got anything that you actually wanted to put out?
Yes, yeah. I'm actually in the process of filming something at the moment through Zoom and Skype calls that I'm performing. I'm just editing together some of the footage now. That I don't know when I'm going to release that, but it will be soon.
What's the premise?
Basically just extracting a word out of somebody's head that you can do over, because I see a lot of people saying, oh, well, there's not that many things that you can perform on Instagram and Facebook and over Zoom calls and gigs, because it just means that we have to rethink how we perform these things. I mean, it is something that I have released a version of it in the past under a different name, but this is more updated. There's more of the psychology behind it. There's different outs. There's different ways to perform it. There's different thinking. It's more in depth than what it originally was.
More fleshed out, yeah.
Yeah. I don't really. I found that if I sit and actually try and think of an effect, a lot of the time it ends up being horrible. Sometimes, the main way for me to think of something is I'll think of the end result and think, right, well, how do I get there? And I sort of work back from it. So, like, say for instance, I want something to levitate. I'll think, right, I want something to levitate. So how do I get that object to float? And then I'll back work everything from there, and just, it's simple stuff like that. Or I'll just have an idea. So like the actual hype. So there's two effects effectively in there. The one that you see me perform for the trailer, or the sort of performance out there, that was something that me and Pete worked on, or that was my variation of it. But then there's another version of that in there. But we literally sat and we went, right, well, how do we get this to happen? And we back worked it from there. Whereas Under the Influence, it's basically chasing the taste of something in somebody's mouth. And I was like, I was on a night out and I just thought, I wonder if this will work. And I literally just tried it there and then. It worked and it progressed. So for me, a lot of it, the easiest way to say it is just, if I have an idea, I work on it. And I won't spend time on it, like sit down and allocate specific time. I'll just let things happen. So like I was mentioning to you guys earlier, that I wake up in the night and just with like an idea and I'll write it down, and then I'll go back to sleep, and then I'll just, as it happens, I'll write ideas down, and then later on down the line, I'll maybe go through my phone and go, oh, that was quite cool. Oh, what about this? And it'll just, it's not really a process to me, to be fair.
For me, it just seems to be eureka moments.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about something for a couple of days and then just thought of something.
Yeah, it just happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could. One of the best stories. I don't know whether Pete may not have told you this, but one of the effects for Jinx 2, he was. We were down in London. He was doing a show, and I was filming for him. And he literally, the hotel that the sort of apartment that we got to stay in. He woke up in the middle of the night, and he dreamt of the effect. And he woke up and he just went, Casper, I've just fixed it. I've fixed the solution. I was like, all right, mate. And he went, yeah, I'll tell you about it in the morning. And went back to sleep. And that effect, it's pre-Quiver. He came up with that in London in the middle of the night, and it's been the best thing. He literally just came out of nowhere. He wasn't even thinking about it. He just in his dream. That's it.
It's weird how it happens, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got any pet peeves that you see magicians doing that grinds your gears?
There's loads out there, but then again, for me, that's like with photography, cinematography, magic, mentalism. It's an art form. It's however you want to do it, which is what I was saying to you guys earlier about like my pinky. It peeves a lot of magicians off. Like my pinky break, it pisses a lot of magicians off. However, that's me. That's how I want to do it.
Yeah. That's
how I'll continue to do it. If you want to do that, you do that. I mean, obviously, there's things that I wouldn't do. For instance, some of these, should we say, social media magicians? Should we say it like that? I wouldn't. That's not how I would do it. It does frustrate me, but then again, that's how they want to do it. That's their art form. That's their stage.
But you have to still, respect the art form for what it is, even if you don't, it's not your cup of tea.
You're gonna lock that answer in.
100%. I'm locking that answer in. At the end of the day, right? For me, look at the whole Jabrizi thing that happened, right? Everyone went mental over Jabrizi when he came out. And he went, and he was
that thing.
Yeah, but it wasn't just that. It was the fact that he was like, I am better than Chris Ramsey and this, that, and the other. And he was calling like Shin Lim out and Chris Ramsey, and he was calling these magicians out. And he was like, full on, I'm better than them. And then for me, it was like, everyone was like, well, you can't, you're not better than them. And I was like, you're missing the point here. Are you not talking about him? Are you not spreading his name around social media, which is then going to drag attention to him, which then it's clever marketing for me. Like, for me, whether he believed it or not, it was the best marketing that he could have done. Fair play to him.
Any press is good press.
Exactly that.
And if you don't like it, you're a hater.
It is what it is to me. No, but you can't please everybody. Nobody's going to like everything you do. Take the Stack Watch, the Illusionist Stack Watch, Pete Turner Stack Watch. The amount of people that it was 50-50, and some people hated that, and some people liked it. You're not going to please everybody. So why try?
Well, I've ordered one because I think it's a fucking great idea. And
excuse me.
And
thank you.
I've memorized stacks before. I've not memorized that particular one. I'm actually working on memorizing it for realsies now. I was talking to you about it before we started.
You did.
But I've used other stacks before. One of them I came up with myself, where it's just, well, I didn't come up with the idea myself. It was from Pure. I read it in Pure Effect, where you use your phone number, national security number, you know, a bunch of stuff and related to the cards.
Yep.
And I had that memorized for ages. And now if you ask me what number 41 was in that stack, I've got no idea, not even the slightest clue. And it'd take me a while to work it out. And
I mean,
like
you can,
and it's on. It's here all the time. How can you? You know, I mean, you can't lose it.
Yeah,
It's great.
I mean, if you like, for those people that are saying, oh, you should learn stacks and saying that, why? If you can do something without you needing a stack, then do it. Because what if somebody, like we were saying earlier, before we did the stream, that if somebody messes up that stack, what are you going to do? Like if that order goes, what's your backup? So for me, yeah, all right, learn a stack, great, but what are you going to do when that stack doesn't work? Can you still perform the same effect without a stack? To me,
yeah, or without ringing in the cooler.
Exactly. And for me, it's like you just said, I created my own stacks just because it was easier for me. It was easier for me to remember. I don't do anything with stacks anymore, so I don't memorize them.
I've got an idea to use that stack watch, and if I remember, I'll tell you after we finish filming.
Hey, by the way, that's a badass shirt.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, where'd you get that from?
Persecute Tees. Do you know what's funny? They don't even sponsor me. They sent me some. So they sent me these shirts. They sent me a jumper, 2 t-shirts, just because I was like sharing the stuff because I think that the stuff's cool. They sent me these, and it was just like they're actually really, really nice. And then they named a t-shirt after me. So,
bish bash bosh.
Yeah.
Is that like supposed to be Donkey Kong, or what is that on the? What is that?
I think it's just like an ape, but it's like beast mode. Then they've got my favourite's Bad Bunny. They've got one that's called Bad Bunny, which is cool.
You think dyslexia would hurt trying to remember a stack?
No, because my dyslexia is, and particularly in my case, is more about the words. So I sort of see playing cards being more numbers, which is dyspraxia, I think. Yeah.
Dyslexia can affect a bunch of things, though. Like dyslexia can affect memory. It can, short term and long term. It can affect numbers and letters when you're reading or.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the memory thing is a big issue. But because I try and remember things in a certain way now, and I try different methods and just to help better my memory, which is like what we were saying earlier. I learn things visually, so I learn things by doing it or seeing it, and it sticks in my mind better. The more I do it, the better it sticks in. If I stop doing it for a certain period of time, like there's a couple of effects that I used to perform regularly. I went to go perform. I had the perfect opportunity before we were in lockdown to do it again, and I completely forgot how the effect went. Like I couldn't piece the method in my head to actually perform it. So I just went like, right. So I knew the result I wanted, so I had to think of something on the fly to try and make that work, because I sort of gave the premise away. If that makes sense.
So. We're going to wrap this up. Have you got any more questions, Alex?
I mean, I'm good. Sorry, I'm pretty tired, guys. I don't mean to be so tired.
That's all right. Cool. I mean,
we'll
edit this bit out.
We'll edit this bit out, obviously.
Yeah.
Keep it in for me.
Yeah, I've pretty much run out of questions here. I
suppose the main thing for me is just try and sort of let people know about the YouTube and Instagram really, because that's where I'm trying to sort of help people the
I
most.
will read into that when I do the outro. I say, where can people find you? We'll leave you links in the description below and all that stuff. Right, so that was a fantastic interview. Thanks to everybody who's joined us today and for managing to make it all the way through. We salute you. Please like, subscribe, all the things. We hope to see everybody at home again soon. Now, Adam, Mr. Casper, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for spending your time with us. We appreciate you coming on. We'd love to have you on again. We'd love to have you on again and see how you're getting on with the videography on your channel and stuff. How can people find your channel? What's the name of the channel? And we'll drop the links below. Yeah,
so it's Casper Magic for the YouTube. I'm not sure whether it's searchable yet because obviously I'm still on quite a low subscribe count, which is growing slowly. And then all my other social medias is Casper Magic UK. I mainly post to Instagram, occasionally Twitter, but Instagram and YouTube are where I'm usually posting at the moment.
All right, nice one, guys. See you soon.